Hello, everybody. It's your boy Charles here. First off, I want to apologize for me coughing a lot in this video. I have pneumonia, which I just figured out today, so if I'm coughing a lot or pausing a lot, that's the reason why, so just letting y'all know. But, today is my manga thing that we're going to be doing every week. So, let's just get straight into it. The first manga I'm going to be talking about is Solo Leveling. Solo Leveling is compared to Sword Art Online a lot, but it kind of is. Basically, the main character, Sung Jin Woo, or as I like to call him, Sung Drip Woo, he is our main character, and he is in a world of hunters that go into dungeons and just defeat like monsters and final bosses. You know the deal. They're in Korea, so it's a little awkward. Hopefully they're in South. I'm just hoping. But anyways, so he's the weakest hunter in the world, and that's his actual title throughout the entire series until he gets like other titles and stuff. But he is the weakest hunter in the world, and one day he goes into a pretty low level dungeon, like sorry, E rank dungeon, and there are these things called double dungeons, where it's a dungeon with a boss, and then another dungeon inside of that with another harder boss. Now, these dungeons, like the original dungeon, could be like E, D, C, and then the next dungeon can be E, D, C, B, or A, or S. So, it could be really dangerous, or it could just be really easy. But, so he goes into a dungeon, they find a double dungeon, they go inside that double dungeon, they're walking for like an hour, in just this really long hallway. Then, reach a door, they open the door, it's just a bunch of statues, and one statue, one very big statue sitting on a chair, in the middle of the room, kind of. And then there is another statue with text on it. That statue that's holding the text looks like the Grim Reaper. Scuddy, I know. But, there are rules that you have to follow in that section. I forget the rules, but everyone's confused by it. And then the largest statue sitting on the chair moves its eyes to laser beam the entire crew. And Sung Jinwoo, before he becomes Sung Dripru, is an incel. He's the weakest hunter, but he picks up on something that no one else will pick up on. He picks up on the laser beams that are gonna be coming towards them, and he tells everyone to duck. And he figures out the puzzle and what the rules mean. Mostly everyone escapes, except for our main character. He is left in the middle of the room on a pedestal, about to be sacrificed. Bloodied, missing a leg. He's the weakest hunter in the world, so what's he supposed to do with a tiny, flimsy sword against 10 statues and another statue, the one sitting down, called God? Now, I'm not going to say anything more. You'll just have to figure it out. I'm going to say, you should at least give this the 5 chapters. See if you like it or not. It is like most power fantasies, but he does still struggle in fights. Unlike most power fantasies where it's just, oh, they get this ability that everyone says is weak. And then 10 chapters later, they're just God. Even though everyone says ability's weak, it's really not. So, anyways, that's all I'm gonna say about my boy Sung Dripperoo and his manga Solo Leveling. I'm going to move on to another manga, which I really enjoy. It's the behind the creator of Dorohedoro. If you ever seen that on Netflix or just read the manga for it, I've heard it's pretty good. I'm eventually gonna read that too. So, anyways, this next book is called Dai Dark, DAI space dark, and it's about our main character. I forget his name, but he. You start off the chapter by him floating in space, all bloodied, bruised, looks like he's dead, and he's sucked into an alien ship where the leader is this three-headed ogre, and he basically realizes that who they just sucked up is if you get their bones, you can get any wish in the world. And they also have a backpack, or what they call a package in that world. It's a little weird, but you get used to it. The package is an extremely strong package that can like turn into a skeleton who is basically immortal. They can't be harmed by fire. They easily go through black holes. Like they survive like hundreds of tons of G's on them. They breathe fire. Yeah, and they have a storage system inside their brain, which is pretty cool. So they're planning on stealing his bones. So they put him in like this ice room to at least sort of keep him alive because he's still breathing, but they're gonna wait a bit. I forget why, but they strip him of all his clothing. But the main dude says, "Don't take off my tidy whities." And they say, "Okay, you're gonna die anyway, so might as well." And yeah, so then they just leave, take a little nap. But then we cut back to our main dude, and he's just chilling, literally, in the ice room, and his tidy whities turn into a black cloak with a mask that make him basically super strong and basically put him on steroids. So it comes all over his body. Pause. I mean, it wraps all around his body, and then he breaks out of the room with his, I think it's dark axe, which you'll learn about that. It's pretty key. Got a lot of weapons about darkness. Got an entire like dimension of darkness where you go through a black hole, and then there's just tons and tons of G's. So yeah, it's pretty cool. He if he hits you with his axe of darkness, all your skin falls off and you're just left with your bones. It's pretty freaky. And he just takes everyone out on the ship. He collects their bones. And then he goes back out into space with his package and with a helmet, with an astronaut helmet on, with like bones like falling off of his robe. And then he just casually walks into a black hole. And he sells the bones of the aliens he just killed in the darkness world. And this is just one of these mangas where you kind of just have to turn your brain off and just enjoy, because it's a little bit of a roller coaster. There's this character named Shimida Death, and it's really the god of death. They eat souls, and it's just then this red cloak. And it's like, I'll tell you about death. And then when she takes her cloak off, she's a woman. Now it's just like death. And I'm gonna tell you, you should probably give it at least the first 10 chapters. See if you like it. It's a really good book. I enjoyed it very much. Art style amazing. I forgot to mention this for solo leveling, but that art is just amazing too. But Die Dark, me personally, I think it deserves its own anime too. But that's just me. And yeah, the art's pretty cool. Cast absolutely stacked for both. And yeah, two good ones. Now I'm gonna tell you about next week. Next week we have two other manga. We have Sanda, and then we also have All You Need Is Kill. Two relatively short mangas. One's like 40 chapters, I'm pretty sure. The other's like 17. So yeah, both easy reads. You can finish it in a day. But anyways, I'll see y'all in the next video. Toodaloo!